Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Telling It Like It Is. My name is Jade Alberts, the founder of Peer Guidance. We listen, guide, connect, and help invest in small businesses, entrepreneurs in Alberta. I'd like to thank Bessie for their sponsorship. You're going to have to check them out. The next 4 episodes are all support local. Bessie is another local company. They take from farm to plate to you guys. So check their website out. It's in the comments section, bessiebox.com, scrolling along the bottom. You have to support them. You have to check them out. They will have some Christmas promos up there as well. And I am excited about today's guest, John Anderson. He's the founder of Sea of Dead. John, thank you for joining me today. And how are you?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh no, I mean it's we always talk about how we mix. I think networking and even beforehand, you and I talked about the importance of introducing people and I just loved your. I mean, here I am, like I'm wearing one of them, the old Stampede Wrestling. I reached out and you got your Calgary '88 one on and then we met for lunch, and before you know it, here we are. We went to the same school in Saskatchewan in Notre Dame. We had a lot of history of hockey and.
Yeah.
And we've got so many things in common, and before that, now we've introduced each other to a bunch of other people, and that's kind of how the business works here in Alberta.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is I'll give a brief introduction here of John, and we will start talking about the Sea of Dead. So John is a communications professional with 10 years of progressive experience working in communications, social media, community, and media relations. His experience relates to pro sports, post-secondary education, agriculture, and now fashion. He co-founded Sea of Dead in April 29, and before completing his Bachelor of Public Relations at MRU, he played professional hockey in the United Kingdom from 06 to 08. So this is one thing that I really like to talk about, and I know things. I'm looking forward to hearing your story, but a lot of these things start off as a side of the desk. It's a really cool idea, something that I think we can do. So why don't you, share your story about how this started?
So yeah, absolutely. No problem. This definitely started off on the side of our desk. A pal of mine, Garrett Crump, who's with Universal Access, him and I basically met for beers, and we were firing up the old Google machine and saying, how come I can't get Calgary Cannons memorabilia? How come I can't get a Calgary '88 jersey? Like, it's really hard to find any sort of merchandise from Stampede Wrestling because we're both proud Calgarians and we just think that kind of stuff should be celebrated. So before long, we went down one rabbit hole, went down another rabbit hole, and found that there's a lot of companies and shops like ours in Vancouver that are really popular, promoting defunct brands. So that led to another rabbit hole of trying to figure out, okay, well, we could do this. So we did it just by kind of gritting our teeth and trying one manufacturer and then the next. And it was very much trial by fire and a very challenging learning experience. We had some very small orders in the beginning. I think we did 25 t-shirts and 25 hats and barely had enough to get by to the next order. But that's kind of really how it started, just saying we can't find this product, so why don't we just do it?
And I love that, right? Most ideas come out from a why can't I get that? How can I get that? It's solving a problem. How did you go about? I mean, Stampede Wrestling. I mean, I remember myself as a kid. I'd go shopping at in rural Saskatchewan to the OK Economy, grab some grapes, be home by 10, 11 o'clock, and I'm watching Stampede Wrestling. And I loved it. I just loved it, right? How did you go about, talking to the whatever be the Hearts or the Calgary '88s to get the licensing to do these T-shirts?
Yeah. So I mean, as I mentioned earlier, Garrett would help me co-found this, and he's very much the numbers and details guy to this, where I'm a little bit the comms and the dreamer. And today it's important to mention we are a 3-man band, and we have our third and probably our most valuable person as a part of our team is Ryan Williamson, and he does all of our designs. But how we started this process is basically pretty much by Google search and filing trademarks. And Garrett will tell you it's not that straightforward because he did all the legwork for it. I just said I could do a social media post to help promote it. But he basically did that. So Garrett did the necessary work to file the trademarks. The first 2 we did were Cannons and '88s. When we filed the Cannon's trademark, we were then put in touch with Blake Parker, who now is responsible for it, and Garrett was able to work out a licensing agreement with him. In terms of the 88s, we were able to acquire that after filing the trademark. That was long gone. And then how we go about the branding with the other stuff is really where Ryan comes in. So much of the other products and brands that we promote is done through original artwork. So Ryan creates them from scratch. So you'll notice our Cecil Hotel it's not a photo of the iconic sign. It's something Ryan actually created. That T-shirt that you're wearing, the Stampede Wrestling one, Ryan drew that actually, and he got that from old Stampede Wrestling programs. Really cool way that we were able to put a bow on that is the first person we ever showed that mock-up design to was Bret Hart, actually, and he was very supportive. And I said to him, like, is this right? Like, does this look right to you? And he said, that's absolutely the way I remember it. So our first shirt for Stampede Wrestling was white, and we just kind of tested it to get it out. And then we morphed into the black version because it's authentic and it's kind of like the Stone Cold Steve Austin wrestling era, and fits with that branding. But the one you're wearing is the one what we're most proud of because it represents the blue mat that exactly. The other icons wrestled on for Stampede Wrestling. So.
No, and I remember the blue mat, right? Watching Art and Mucka Singh and, and all the guys back in the day. And it was just, it's something. And when I saw you guys on Twitter, I was like, oh my God, I know all this. And I mean, so how do you pick these iconic? I mean, I know Lloyd's Roller Dome. I mean, it literally just closed, and I mean, we took our girls there for birthday parties, and sad to see iconic places go like that. So how did you work with those guys?
Well, Lloyd's was the same for us. I mean, Garrett and I both grew up in the Southwest, and I feel like from the majority of elementary to early part of junior high, you probably had every birthday party at Lloyd's. So when it closed, we knew that was something we wanted to do right away. And I mean, you'll notice like the Lloyd's logo we use is actually not to spec. It's actually one they never used at all. Ryan designed that on his own, just in a polite way, and he thought it was more of a tribute to it. But how we decide what we do is really just like the feedback we get on social media. Like our followers are super engaging, so we're really lucky because on Twitter and Instagram, people are very vocal about what they want next, and we do our best to try to give them what they want.
Oh, absolutely. Well, before we talk about, running your business and things like that, let's touch base on the social media and the support local, because that's really what we're doing the next, the 4 weeks here. And we had a brief conversation saying how happy, yesterday's announcement went to keep businesses open and selling, and especially coming up to the Christmas season here. You guys, do it very organically. So why don't you share your marketing vision and what you're currently doing?
Yeah. So organic is the right word to put it. I mean, all of our growth is natural. We kind of made a pact that we'll never buy Facebook ads or Instagram ads. We don't want to be a targeted post or any sort of sponsored post that you see when you're scrolling. We hope that our growth can always be natural and done through engagement. And as a direct result, if we're gaining followers and in turn traction and in turn sales, it's because Jade bought a shirt and Jade told his friends about it. And we're growing the natural way. That's really our mandate right now. It's really something we pride ourselves on. And if you find us or you know about us, it's because someone in your community thinks what we're doing is really cool, and you want to be a part of it too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when I found you guys, I was instantly buying shirts. And I have to get a hat yet. So that's my next, I just haven't got around to it. But I mean, we even did that with Nathan's, right? I mean, I watch you guys and I'm seeing people posting everywhere, and I've seen Bret Hart wear it, right? And obviously having him backing is pretty cool too. But I mean, we used to do that and saying, oh, hand out contest, a free hat, free T-shirt, free thing for the coolest shot of where you can take your naked shot or your Sea of Dead. And I mean, that's something that, people are obviously very passionate about it and taking shots in all kind of really neat places. So to have, your customers feel that type of passion and then post it is pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and that also ties in with our social media kind of marketing vision you were talking about. We use the hashtag YYC certified, which means like, if you have this product, if you're taking a photo with it and use the hashtag, like you're a true Calgarian, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what our company is all about, is like celebrating all the great things and the makeup of what Calgary is. There's just so many wonderful things, and the possibility to sort of not let these things fade away is something we take really seriously and something like we're really excited about.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm excited about. I'm still excited about it. I mean, I'm such a T-shirt and shoes guy, so I wear T-shirts all the time. So to see something like this is so cool. Again, I'm talking with Jonathan Anderson, the co-founder of Sea of Dead. His co-founding partners are Ryan Williamson and Garrett Crump. You click on the website in the comments section; it'll take you directly to their. So starting a small business, something as kind of, I mean, you have a full-time job and you said you made a small print. Were there any times that you thought that, oh God, this is dumb, it's not going to work, or did you have any inventory issues? Share some of your good and horror stories about starting something.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think anybody that's taken sort of a challenge like this on has lots of horror stories. I mean, I am happily married, so I mean, with that. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that too. And we have 2 young daughters too, which is really exciting and something, you want to make sure you're involved with. So your free time is really challenging a lot of the time. We really gain challenges in dedicating time to it. Initially, that was the biggest challenge, is like, well, for it to grow, we need to gain exposure. For me to gain exposure, I need to be making sure that we're posting about it. We need to make sure that we're connecting with the right people, like Jade. We need to make sure that somebody's ordering and we're responding right away. So, they're going to then in turn tell their friends. That's all standard, I think. Imagine small business stuff that people start. Inventory was really tricky in the beginning. First off, finding a manufacturer that could produce high quality stuff within the price range for us that made sense was really challenging. Yeah. So we're really fortunate that it took us a bit of time, but we found All Rush Printing and Apparel. It's a Calgary company off 32nd Avenue, and we work directly with Sam and Mo there. And they're a huge part of what we're doing, and we're super grateful for everything that they do to make our products basically get to the public. But the challenge, like you said, with inventory was huge, because we, for the longest time, had to do small orders, which meant we need to account for every dollar. So we always used to joke that if I had 25 T-shirts and I had 25 hats, I couldn't give my mom a free T-shirt, because that literally was the difference between us being able to do a reorder. So since then, we've obviously gained large orders. Now we kind of operate on a pretty simple structure, in the sense that we are not restocking inventory until the previous order is paid off. So it's just a really simple logistical way to work with. And we're really fortunate now that we've been able to do enough big orders that we kind of have what seems like endless inventory.
Which is a good thing if someone wants it now, and it's a bad thing if you're like, oh my God, it's not selling as fast as I want, or that size.
Yeah.
I
mean, you're always going to run into logistical challenge, and inventory is a major headache with that, especially like, what size do people want? Okay, well, like, I didn't plan for that. So I've got 25 Cecil T-shirts, but they're all medium, and everyone wants XL or large, right? Well, okay, but we operate under the principle that, I mean, I'm sorry, it doesn't make financial sense for us to invest into more Cecil shirts at that size until I've paid off the remaining order. And as soon as that's done, I'll make sure that I get to those customers that need that shirt in that size.
Yeah. So I guess, have you seen, I guess, how's the city of Calgary and this, obviously since the kind of the pandemic, but even a little bit before the pandemic, they were talking about support local, YYC, support local, and I've done a lot of different things. Have you seen the promotions that, they have done, or have you seen an uptick in some of the sales that you've done because of people wanting to, instead of going and buying a Nike t-shirt, they're going to be purchasing a Sea of Dead shirt?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think that seems to be a general consensus on social media to promote local, shop local. I mean, everybody's seen the post. I mean, how much Amazon gained through the pandemic and whatnot. So I think there is a real mandate to shop local and support local. And I mean, our friend Ryan Corey is doing a great job trying to lead that charge with the shop local platform he started, and that's really exciting. Tailgate Mercantile and Okotoks has done a really good job with stuff like that too, where they're organizing pop-up shops and markets, and they've invited us to that a number of times, and we're really grateful to be included into that local community. So I think the local aspect is very real right now, and people are doing their best to contribute to it.
No, that's a very good point. I actually just popped Ryan's localshops.com in there. It's something really good. We were talking about Duncan before, and I'm sure Duncan's out there listening, and teamomai.com. I just plopped his website in there as well. But I mean, there's so many great local, and you said you needed a little help, and even though, yeah, you know what, someone might buy a Team O' My shirt, but look, I mean, Duncan reaches out, he helps you out, with your back. I mean, it's such a really good ecosystem, even though you are kind of competing against each other, but you're really not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't believe we really are. I mean, well, first and foremost, we're forever grateful for Duncan and Team O' My. The stuff he does over there is tremendous, and I would encourage anybody to always check them out. So the story, Jade, but he helped us with the original vector files. That's a nightmare that I should have mentioned earlier on, when myself and Garrett wanted to start a clothing company, and I had no idea what a vector file was. Duncan really helped us out in that aspect, and he was able to create that stuff. And in turn, we had to bring Ryan on as a full-time designer, and he's really the saving day too. But yeah, Duncan and Team O' My, I remember I was thanking him for the help, and he said, you know what, nobody did this really for me, and I'm happy to do it for you, and hopefully you can do it for the next person. And I'll never forget. And he said, there's more than enough room for all of us. So if we can help celebrate and prop each other up, I think that's definitely a good motto to live by. So.
No, absolutely. And I mean, as we were talking before, I mean, Duncan does all of our stuff for the Longhorns. He does almost all the FMBA. And if you're a sports and you want your team designed, shirt, Duncan does the design. He does it here in Calgary. He lives in Tuscany. He's got a small family as well. I mean, it is great. I think he does the Bucks. He's done some stuff for the Dinos, the Dogs, like a lot of these companies. He's working and designing a lot of their stuff. And he incorporates a lot of really cool, iconic spots in Calgary, whether it be the Skyline. He did our Canadian National Baseball Championship stuff with the bat and having the Husky Tower, the Calgary Tower, incorporated into it. So it's really cool. So check out his website if you are a sports team and you want your stuff designed. So, but yeah, I mean, and that is, the point I wanted to get to is just kind of really how the entrepreneurial ecosystem is here in Alberta. It is it's not, oh yeah, screw you. It's like, oh no, what do you need? I'll help you. I went through this problem, or I know somebody that can help you out.
Yeah, we've really found that. I mean, in the limited time, we started at the end of April 2019, and we've been really embraced and welcomed to the sort of the local community of entrepreneurs. So, and we're forever grateful for it.
Oh no, absolutely, and as you should be, right? I mean, we're out there, and anytime somebody comes on, even on this show, I get people like, "Oh my God, look at, they're checking out their website, they're doing this." I mean, I hope people are watching it. I don't know, I won't know till we're done, but hopefully, if it drives a few sales and along those lines. But so you've got a lot of really cool things, the 88s, the Cannons, Lloyds, Cecil. I'm probably missing a few. What's next for Sea of Dead?
Well, as far as brands, you know what? We're going to kind of keep that under wraps right now. We're going to do a new release in the spring. So our goal is to move as much of our inventory at seeitdead.ca and start completely fresh in the spring with all new branded stuff. And I don't want to give too much away on what we're going to be releasing, but I can say that the next thing's coming out for See It Dead. We get asked a lot about collaborations, and can we work with a local company on their branding. So we're really, really excited that the first one we're going to do is with Dandy Brewing. So we're doing a collaboration with them and some merchandise for them. And they're another great company that we're super proud to sort of associate ourselves with. And we're grateful for everything they've given us too, actually. We've done pop-ups there as well, and they've been so welcoming and supportive of what we're doing. So that's sort of our next major thing. We have an article coming out in Avenue Magazine in January, and we are in the very initial stages of planning a ball tournament to sort of celebrate See It Dead in 2021, if the world sort of allows us to get together again.
Yeah. Hopefully in the spring that they will, that's for sure. So yeah. You know, it's funny. I just, again, anybody wants to go to the Dandy Brewing website. It's in the comments section. It's kind of up on the screen right now. Check them out. They are one of the few beers that I can drink now. I don't know why, but they have a rice-based beer, so I don't have to drink Bud Light. I can drink, they have a Dandy Lager, I think it is, that it's got like an octopus on it or something. And yeah. And I go around and find that, and that's probably one of the only beers I drink. So it's funny that you mentioned Dandy Brewing right now.
Yeah, so I mean, we've been approached by a number of companies, and a lot of people have asked us to do their stuff, and we really want to make sure the fit is right. You know what I mean? We want to have sort of a similar vision, a similar audience, and Dandy is just. They've been outstanding since the get-go, so we're really looking forward to it. I mean, it's something that we hope to do in the fall, and then, you know, one thing happened the next. So in 2021, there'll be our first collaboration for branded merchandise that we'll be working on with.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. I mean, I think that also goes to show that you guys are, you know, obviously making an impact in the ecosystem as well, right? Sitting here and going on, and people want to collaborate with you. So that's obviously a sign that you guys are doing things right. Yeah. No, that's awesome. I love it. Again, I'm talking with John Anderson, one of the co-founders of seeitdead.ca. Check them out. They are in the comment section. Just click on it. You love their stuff. I mean, I'm wearing my Stampede one. I love it. I also have a Cannon shirt downstairs. It's wearing his Calgary 88s. They got some really neat stuff. I love the name Sea of Dead. How did you come up with that? I should have asked that earlier.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah. So, I mean, to be honest with you, it's a very long-winded answer, but it's a play on Sea of Red. Obviously, Calgary, Sea of Red. And then, of course, you could take it away. Again, it's more of a play on the Dead Sea, right? And then Sea of Dead. The sea represents Calgary, all the iconic establishments and brands that are now dead. So, yeah, it's C is for Calgary. The dead represents sort of red. Yeah.
Well, you can figure it out. I was just like,
yeah. Did that just you might need to know some math and physics to understand it all, but it makes sense in our heads. Yeah.
Well, it makes sense, right? Sea of Dead. Here you go. I mean, any iconic thing that's gone away, and there could be, unfortunately, might be some more, but maybe it is a pretty cool name. I really do like it. You know, for the last question, I always ask the same thing, and this is obviously might be a little more fresh in your mind. You know, being just over about a year and a half type startup and running and becoming successful. So, if you had one piece of advice for a small business, startup, or entrepreneur, John, what would that be?
You know what? I mean, it's cliche and it's not an exciting answer, but just do it. Like if you think about it and it takes enough time up for you to think about it, it's probably worth doing. So, I mean, before we started See It Dead, it was something we were constantly thinking about. And then when I found out Garrett was kind of thinking about the same thing, we just went for it, you know? So, and then that's the second half of that. Just go for it. There will be challenges along the way. Absolutely. Managing your time is the biggest challenge. But if it's something you like and it's something you're passionate about, absolutely do it.
Can't agree more, right? Get it out there, put it out there, find out if it works.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, well, hey, maybe we have to tweak something, or maybe it's just not going to happen. But, going about it, and we talk about this, and last week was Alberta Innovation Week, and so many companies that we talked to, just getting that MVP out there and putting it out there and seeing if people will buy it and if they like the idea, and then, as you guys have gone, grow organically and grow slowly. You don't have to be $1 million company in a year. I mean, hey, if you guys have something that you get, whatever your goals are as a company, and you are met, and it's fun, and maybe your goal is for all of you to quit your jobs and make this an iconic thing and make boatloads. Who knows? I mean, but it just could be a fun thing that keeps you active in the community and keeping the memory of a lot of really cool things alive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if you need, like you said it best, if you need to make tweaks along the way, that's totally cool. I mean, we did stuff originally when we were sort of limited with financial resources, and we, had to make adjustments to what the market was requesting. And saying that, we also released stuff once we had a little bit more capital to play with that we thought people would love, and then they absolutely didn't. So in turn, we made the appropriate adjustments.
No, absolutely. And that's what you have to do, right? You adjust on the fly and make those changes. And that's what, it doesn't guarantee success, but it sure helps. It sure helps you along the way to become successful. So that's great to hear. That's great advice. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me today.
Oh man, it was awesome. I enjoyed our conversation. Obviously, I enjoy the clothing, and I will be buying more. And then again, if anybody needs something, it's seaofdead.ca. Click on it in the comments section. We're talking about this over the next 4 weeks about supporting local. You have a husband, a son, even a daughter for that matter. You got the girls' clothing too. And it's a really great Christmas gift that you can give to somebody. And again, you are supporting local people with local families in the Calgary area. And I guess even if you're living anywhere in Saskatchewan or Toronto and you're a Calgary, hey, we could get some pictures of the CN Tower, where you the Sea of Dead in the CN Tower, or the Hopewell Rocks in Halifax, or Moncton, wherever you want to go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've been fortunate enough to ship to Europe, all over the U.S. There's tons of Stampede Wrestling fans, tons of AAA baseball fans that remember the Cannons and that are transplanted abroad. And we will send anything anywhere, really. We also have local delivery, but for fast and efficient service, we always recommend, we have a free pickup option. So basically, you place your order through seaofdead.ca, and within 48 hours max, you'll receive pickup instructions. And there's always someone on the seaofdead.ca chat to kind of work with you and make sure that we can help you in any purchases you might be making.
Perfect. That's awesome. Again, thanks a lot, Jonathan, for coming on. We really appreciate it. seaofdead.ca for everybody. Great Christmas gift. And I'm sure we'll be talking soon, John. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks again for having me.